Wondering why your business isn't as successful as you want it to be? What's stopping you? Well, I'm going to uncover that in this video. G'day, Ben here, co-founder of Maximum Profit. We're all about helping you build the business that you imagined. Now, if you imagine having a business that was more successful, maybe one that took less of your time, made you more money and gave you more freedom to do the things that you love in life, but instead you've ended up with something that's like a big ball and chain that keeps you awake at night. And in fact, maybe you'd be better off working for somebody else. You'd probably get paid more and work less. And then, you know what? This video is definitely for you. I'm going to unveil or uncover for you what it is that is holding you back. There's so many business owners. Now, I've been business coaching for 20 years, and I can tell you that in that time, I've seen many successful businesses and I've seen many unsuccessful businesses. And I can tell you that some of those are in the same industry. So it's not the industry, is it? What holds you back? So what do you think your biggest limiting factor is? You can answer that for me now. What's your biggest limiting factor? Well, let me tell you something. First of all, everything that you have in life, you've decided to have. How do I know that? You've got it. That's how I know that. Everything that you've got, you deserve. Why? Because you've decided to have it. And your biggest limiting factor is not money. It's not the government. It's not the conditions. It's not COVID. It's not any of those things. It's you. You are your biggest limiting factor. And you know why? Because you allow yourself not to do the things that you said you were going to do. I live by the fact that you've got to get through life without making any what? Excuses. No excuses. And that's what I've found. The people that are successful typically take full ownership for everything that's going on in their business and in their life, and they do something about it. They get on top of it. They don't try and blame other people. They don't blame the environment. They don't blame the economic situation. They don't blame pandemics. They just get on with it. And that's what it's all about. So you are your biggest limiting factor. Now, I know that can be a really tough pill to swallow, but that is the reality of being a successful entrepreneur. So I thought I would share a couple of tips with you on helping you understand how to make sure that you stay on top of your attitude, because attitude's a bit like a flat tire. Okay, it's only flat on the bottom, but it stops you from progressing. It really does. And it just needs a little bit of pumping up, and that tire, once again, is functional. So it's just the air in it. The tire itself is okay. And so the same thing for you in your business. Everything there is fine. It just needs a little bit more air pumped into it for it to be functional. And so here's some things, some rituals for you to be able to make sure that you stay positive, that you take ownership, and you stop making excuses for what's going on in your life or in your business. First of all is make sure that you catch yourself out. And so this is having some sort of a way of knowing that when you're making excuses that you feel yourself doing, or you catch yourself out doing it. Even publicly announce to friends, family, or colleagues that if you make an excuse, if they catch you making an excuse or whinging about something, to say you're whinging again or you're making excuses. And that's a good way to make sure that you stay accountable. And the way that I like to do this is a little thing I learned many, many years ago, about 20 years ago, called above and below the line. Now, people below the line make excuses all the time. They blame other people or other things for when things don't go right, and they also live in denial, okay? So they lie to themselves. And as a human being, you are the easiest person to lie to. You lie to yourself before you'll lie to anybody else, and you'll actually make yourself right. That's how you work. Now, people that live above the line take ownership, okay? So they own everything that's going on in their life and in their business. They are accountable to the things that are going on. So if something doesn't go right, they hold themselves accountable for that. And that's really, really important. And they are responsible. So they take full responsibility for what's going on. So rather than blaming other people, rather than making excuses, they take responsibility. Now, what I mean by that is, let's say something like a marketing strategy doesn't work in your business. It would be easy to blame the circumstances. And, you know, I've done it. We're all guilty of it. I might have said, oh, well, it's Christmas time. No one buys in Christmas. Well, that's a generalization and it's rubbish. Or I might say, oh, it's been a long weekend, or the pandemic has slowed everything down. None of those things are actually going to be helpful to you, right? All they are is a way for you to lie to yourself and make excuses for the fact that you haven't got smart enough or clever enough or learned enough to be able to sell in those environments. So I always say to people, draw up a big circle. You can do that now, like a big pie. And I want you to draw a line of your share. So, you know, the little segment of that pie chart, if it was your share. Now, for a lot of you, it may just be a very skinny line. It might be less than 1% of the marketplace. And if that is the case, then you could grow your business by double, triple, quadruple, 10 times and still not saturate the marketplace. And so what that means is that you've just got to get a whole lot better at understanding how to build your business. Now, you could say if marketing doesn't work, you'd say, oh, it's because of COVID or it's because of Christmas or whatever it might be that's going on in your life at the time. Instead, what you say is, how do I get better at marketing right now? What is it that I need to learn? What did I get wrong? What is it? Why do I suck at this? Okay, because as soon as you take ownership and you work out that you are your biggest limiting factor, that's when you're going to start to work and learn things. So I'd rather say, how can I get better at this, rather than why this won't work. Because if your mentality is that won't work in my business, because of this, this, and this, then it never will. It never will. And Henry Ford, who started the Ford Motor Company, had a very famous saying that I love. He said, if you think you can or if you think you can't, whichever way, you are right. No excuses. Just get on with it. Understand you are your biggest limiting factor, and it's what happens in between these two ears that is going to make the biggest difference to your success. All right. Hopefully that's helped you take your business to the next level. Remember, we are here to help you build the business that you imagine. If you want some help, if you want some coaching, then talk to us. Head to maximumprofit.com.au and let us help you build the business you imagine. See ya.